Waiting for the signal. Hit the comment button. Am I hearing an echo? No. Okay.
No, we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wait a minute for people to come on.
Yeah.
8 o'clock, or it's a little bit after 8, right? Yeah. 8:01.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to wait. Okay. We got a couple of people already. Good evening, everyone. It is, what is it?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Oh, my God. I thought today was Friday. I really did. I'm like, we have events that we do on the weekend. I'm like, I got to start charging and replacing batteries. And that's what happens when you get old, Adam. Adam's a young guy. Adam is only 25, Adam. Is that what we?
33.
33. That's right.
A little more. A little more.
He was like, go with it.
All right. Hello, everyone. I see Brianna, Nicole, Kristen, Samantha, Cindy, Susan, Raven. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Tuesday night, as promised. That is our special guest there. The very famous
Madam
Adam, who I'm meeting virtually for the first time. We talked for a little while before.
Yes.
This is Chris. Believe it or not, I'm a believer because she kept saying, I'm going to book him. I'm going to book him. And I thought we had a better chance of,
Haley's comment coming again.
Yeah. So I'll let you take the lead on this one. And
I am so happy that you agreed to do this interview. I have been trying for months and months to get you. I don't even know if you realize that.
I don't.
Adam.
Oh,
I was trying. Trust me. And I would not give up, even though this man told me to. I would not give up. Say people never give up. Yes. It happens, okay? And prayers get answered. But I want to introduce to our fan base Madam Adam, who is what I call a social media sensation.
Thank you. I will take that. That's cool.
I call myself that
as
well.
That's a great way of putting it.
I watched you on Instagram, which he'll tell you I'm not a social person on media at all. I am like the klutz of the klutz when it comes to that stuff. Don't understand it. But I was impressed with what you did, how you do it, your presentation, and the care with which you do it for people. So what I want real quick, if you can kind of give us a little breakdown, who is Adam?
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having me in general. This is really awesome. Thank you for the opportunity, first of all. But yeah, no, Madam Adam is an aggressive extension of me, basically. But the name itself came from a bully when I was a kid. Obviously, we're all, when you're in the queer community, often you get bullied and things like that. So Madam Adam was the sissy name that I was given. Madam Adam, that kind of thing. And later on, actually during the pandemic and things like that, I needed a new gamer tag. And I was like, that kind of rolls and is a palindrome and sounds good. And then I started my tarot journey like publicly, and it kind of fit with that very much as well. But ultimately, Madam Adam, me in this position or in this role or whatever you want to call it, is a self-care guru, a tough love tarot reader, a spiritualist, a druid in D&D, kind of whatever, the greatest extension of myself that I've ever been. And I've never enjoyed being myself more in this way. So,
but yeah. I liked it. It sounds like you're saying that Madam Adam is a more aggressive extension of yourself.
No, I like it as the fact that he's now taking the moniker that was used to belittle him and now using it as an FU. Yeah. This is me. And guess what?
My empowerment.
I'm more than you ever thought I could be.
Yeah.
And now look at me. I got 1 million point whatever followers. Yeah. People are listening to my every word. F you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I like that.
Absolutely.
I was bullied as a kid too. I mean, I had a really bad lisp when I was a kid, and I had scars because I was bit by a dog when I was 2 years old, and it scarred me here and on my chin. I know all about that. And I know what life could be like when you're going through that as a kid. And again, looking at you now, I would never in a million years believe that you would even put up with that for a minute. I mean, you look like you're, you go to battle with whoever will look at you cross-eyed,
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's taken a lot of time and a lot of my human experience to gain confidence in general and to, I mean, I've always, my family will tell you that I've always been the outgoing person in the family. I've always been the black sheep and the personality and all of that. But like, you know, there's a part of you that's faking it for a long time.
Yep.
You know, when you're growing up, there's a part of you that's faking it just to be seen and to know, like, I'm okay, right? Like, I'm supposed to be here, right?
Yep.
And then as you get older, you just kind of come full circle and go, I've always been the same. I've always been this person. I've just been trying to find something else. But like, you always come back to this you know? And that's why I'm kind of like, yeah, no, it makes sense to bring the madam back out of it, you know? And I believe in a lot of duality and gender and connection to source and whatever your deity is or religious belief. I believe there's a duality that's kind of necessary, and the madam and the atom kind of brings that together, the duality of me and gender and all of that, you know?
I like that. I like that a lot. Now, the first thing that comes to mind, especially after speaking with you, is this a gift that you've always had, or is it something that you learned?
It's a combination. It's a combination of both. I've always been empathic. I've always been intuitive. I've always been some form of, people throw the word clairvoyance around, some kind of, I've always been able to connect. There's always been a connection to source, higher power. I was raised Catholic, so I understand a lot of standard and tradition, a lot of sit, stand, kneel, you know, a lot of that kind of thing. And also in my own, I went to a Catholic college, in my own time, Buddhism, you know, the 7 pillars, that kind of thing, pagan arts, witchcraft, all kind of finding my own method in all of these things. You
dabbled in a lot of different things, it seems like, to get to actually really grounded yourself.
You know, to figure out what makes sense for me. But there was always a sense of like, okay, who is saying my name? You know what I'm saying? But there's nobody. Or specifically the college I went to was on a Catholic kind of colony that they built in the 1800s. So like, you know, there was a lot of like whisper that would happen, or just right place, right time, catching things, seeing something at the corner of my eye. And I'm like, okay, let me go pull cards, you know? So just, that was always kind of the method that was the method I chose that makes sense to me to figure out my own spirituality, my own journey. I figured out that religion is basically the same across the board. It's people that get it and grab it and muddle it and claim it and pick and choose things and stuff like that. But when you break it down, it's basically a lot of the same. It breaks down to a lot of natural, a lot of nature, a lot of transubstantiation, a lot of transformation, a lot of transcendence. A lot of the similar kind of themes are represented throughout. So yeah, I did my own study in terms of finding a path of these things, but it's always been something bigger that I don't have to, you know, conjure up anymore. Now it's just kind of like a pulse that I have, you know, that's like a natural lifestyle, you know?
And you're right about that. And just to tell you guys, because a lot of people are asking, Madam Adam is on TikTok and Instagram.
Yes.
And he is a tarot reader.
Yes.
So, you know, you could follow him on both those pages, platforms, if you don't already. But what you said about religion, just real quick, and I don't want to get deep into this. You're right. If you reduce everything to common denominators, it is a theme in there and a pattern that it boils down to the same types of things.
Right.
You know, when you just bare bones it, religion or belief, it does have a lot of commonality.
Yeah, and it kind of breaks down to just that we're all seekers.
Yeah.
You know, that we're all seekers of more, of knowledge, of that there's more to this, you know, just a plain seeker. And if someone comes to a tarot reading, it's no different. You're choosing to seek with someone that you deem trustworthy in that. For some people, it's a priest, a pastor, a therapist, a tarot reader, what have you, you know?
Yeah, and it's true. What led you to tarot cards specifically?
I mean, it was cool. It was really cool. It was taboo. I wanted to make my mom mad, you know? So I was like, oh, these witchy card things, you know? And then I was messing with them and found that they're, you know, I was kind of flipping cards, and I was like, these images can kind of tell a story. And I've always been very about language. I mean, hello, how I talk and about the way I speak, but I've always been very into, you know, language and words and vernacular and the way that we put things together. I went to school for English and stuff like that. So, yeah, I figured out that these cards could basically tell me a story, and you could apply them to your life experiences. And more research I did with it, and more a study and stuff like that. We're all still learning. I'm still learning to this day a lot of different things, and cross-reference other books and reread books and things like that. But yeah, it kind of came out of like a need for something tangible that I knew that I like was meant to hear something, to get messages. And for a while it came out in, as an example, actually it came out in song. I was a singer in church for a long time, and sending a message that way made a lot of sense to me. And then after that, it was like, I need something else, something tangible, not something floopy, something I can put my hands on and make sense of. And that was the first thing I grabbed that kind of just made sense to me, you know?
Well, yeah, I like that a lot though, because we're the same but different. My experience in the paranormal has always been about tangible proof. Yeah. Not just, I don't come from that religious of a background. I'm Catholic, but I'm not really practicing. But I needed something more to the big question. What happens? Is there? I needed proof along the way to just keep that faith building and hopefully get answers. And what you said, Britt, makes a lot of sense. Right? I mean, big time for me, because I get it now. The tarot thing is, you know, like you said, questions and answers. How do I find where's the path? How do I start to begin on this path? And the cards for you was kind of that first step in, let's just see, let's try, what answers am I going to get?
But did you see that? He said he's always learning.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I love that what you just said, because we have so many people who definitively say they know it all.
Oh, come on.
And it frustrates me when anybody, I don't care who you are, puts it out there.
How do they deal with that though? If you know it all, how are you not driven mad by that? Like, there's no way. There's no way. Like,
right? And how sad, because you're saying you have nothing to learn, and yet here was a teaching moment. There you would just, we're learning.
Why are you pointing to me?
Because we're learning. Listen, I've said it right out. And
I know a lot.
Adam and I had this discussion that you say you're a skeptic, but you're a cynic. It has to be tangible. It has to be, he has to have proof. He doesn't believe in angels. He doesn't believe in demons. That's his belief. I'm the opposite. From my experiences, I can't expect him to understand when he hasn't experienced what I've experienced, and vice versa. And that's what I like, the give and take, that there's always learning and teaching moments by a stranger can teach you things. And that's what
so you didn't have any friends that were doing tarot and you saw them do it and said, hey, this is kind of cool, or maybe I'll try this myself?
My first experience with tarot was watching, when I was maybe 10, 11, 12, maybe, I watched a Catholic nun read my parents with a deck of 52 playing cards. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I was like, what are we doing? We're playing cards? They're like, go to your room. And I'm like, oh, okay. Peeking around the corner, and she's like, these big spread of cards and stuff. And I was like, okay, like, this is not just something I saw on TV. This isn't something that's taboo for this particular woman and her beliefs, you know? So like, that was my first experience seeing it. But beyond that, no, there was not really anybody that was like, hey, you should try this, you know?
That's unique.
Did you get a sense of, was she accurate with your parents, or you don't know?
I just remember the feeling of it. I remember the feeling of it, that it felt incredibly mysterious and like she knew more than the Bible could ever tell me, you know? And I was like, oh, okay. Because there are people there, even in Christianity and Catholic faith, I've seen a lot of priests that will do their own reflection and stuff like that by flipping the book and going, this word. And that's the word they focus on. That's the word that they meditate on. That's the word they bring to the homily and all of that they use.
The things that you're talking about, and the things that you're talking about, your truth and the, you know, the intuition of what comes to you. There are many things through time that the church closed off to us that they actually practice.
Yeah.
That's why it's so neat that you're saying what you're saying about, you know, flipping those pages over, that you're being led to the message that you need to deliver.
Right.
I mean, I teach scrying, and the one thing, and all of this stuff, and the one thing that I always try to tell people, that these were used by the cardinals, the kings, the scrying and the sand and stuff that were done by the leaders that changed different countries and different belief systems and what was going on. And we need to get in touch with that, because this is important. I think maybe the time's coming around that we're finally realizing that there is more than the everyday, what we're believed, and the kneeling and standing and...
Absolutely. There's this giant spiritual renaissance going on right now. And I know that it's like, a lot of it is out of a kind of need of like a void being opened up with all of us with pandemic and lockdowns, and kind of a need for more. Our ideas of success have changed. It's not dollar amount, status symbol. It's emotional. It's passionate. People want to do things that matter to them now. Like, none of my clients are like, when am I gonna make it rich? They're like, when am I gonna find the thing that makes me feel whole? You know, it's a different level of success now, and I think that's very akin to what you're saying, that like it's a
back to the basics
that we're all on.
Yes.
You know, this spiritual renaissance is kicked in, and we're all wanting something ancient that makes sense, that shows that like this has been foretold. This is supposed to happen. You're supposed to be here. You're
feeding our souls.
Yeah.
We're back to searching for feeding our souls, and that's where we got lost. Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
Well, again, when you deal with a pandemic where that many people have lost people, it does push everything in the forefront that wasn't there before. It really makes us think about, like you said, the material stuff. What is it? Why does it matter? When it could all be gone tomorrow for anybody, you know?
Yeah, it's like a
Can't take it with you.
tragedy. You know?
A lesson is what it was.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
know? So I know, again, I know very little about tarot. We talked about this before we came on. It's like deal a meal to me. Like Richard Simmons had those cards or whatever, and he was like, don't eat that. Don't eat that, not that. But I know there are different decks and everything. Was there one, like, is there one card that a deck that you use for a reason?
Well, yes, I have a plethora of decks. Like, it's sent to me often. People feel that I can pair or foster a deck for a while before I use it or give it purpose or whatever. But yeah, no, the deck that I use the most is the most common. It's the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I use that the most because it is traditionally the most common, the one people are most familiar with. I do a 10-card Celtic cross spread, which is the one you've probably seen in movies or TV shows or whatever. That's the one that you see the most. So I use that one out of a lot of familiarity. That was the deck that I learned on. That was the deck that I found. It's also the deck that I'm a big believer in kind of things coming and going for a reason, just like people. You know, people come and go, reason, season, etc. So for me, a deck is a life force, and when I lose it, it's gone. It's not like, oh, I'll find it when we move in the back somewhere. It vanished. I have no idea where it went. And then I keep getting back a different Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So the current one that I use the most is was a gift from my husband, actually, like 7 years ago when we first started dating. So I do use that one the most for the sake of familiarity, because that's what I learned on myself. But I do have I have like 3 or 4 other decks. One is the El Goliath tarot deck, which new decks just kind of add new understanding. They add new knowledge to something that you thought you knew. Let's cross-reference that. Let's get another opinion from this author and what they say about that card. The general, you know, gist of it will be the same, but maybe with extra adjectives, maybe with another verb in there that gives it a little extra. But I have a lot of different decks. I have a lot. So
when you first started, when you bought your first deck or however you got it, what were you using it for? For your own answers, the question answers for yourself personally?
Everything that I do starts with me. Everything I do has to start with me. How am I, or how are any of us supposed to do anything worthwhile or meaningful unless you test it out on you first, kind of, human trials, so to speak. But
explain it to me, because I really don't know anything about it, to be honest with you. You lay out however many cards, right? Now, what is the intent there? Are you asking questions first and then turning over cards, or are you turning over the cards and then? Gotcha. See, I honestly, I don't really know anything about it, and I'm being honest.
Absolutely. So it's a very much a blind delivery system. That's kind of how it needs to be, in my opinion, anyway. It's a blind delivery system. So essentially, I would meditate, close my eyes, shuffle the deck until it feels good.
Okay.
Whatever that means. I stick to for myself, and when I began doing this, I stuck to a very simple 3-card mind, body, soul, past, present, future. What's going on? What do I need to go on, and how do I get there? whatever, any basic 3 general question kind of vibe. And then I'd flip cards, compare, contrast, look up definitions. I still, even to this day, if I'm doing my own reading, I'm grabbing a book to cross-reference it with a different author or a different deck or whatever. But yeah, so it's kind of a blind delivery system that like whatever comes up here is what I need to hear, and it's purposed that way. You know, there's a lot of blind faith, similar to any kind of other religion, right? So any kind of other spiritual practice, there's a lot of blind faith. So the idea is that like, you know, like for me a lot lately, I got a booth at MegaCon, so a lot of my stuff is about that. Like, how's that gonna go? Am I in a position for it or what have you? I don't know if we went away, if I'm just by myself now. I don't know if I went away, but
there you go.
There we go.
I don't know what's going on, but we got bad thunderstorms. You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got bad thunderstorms. I don't know if that's what's causing it, but like the lights are blinking and my iPad is cutting out on me. All right, we're good.
Things happen. But no, so as I was kind of saying though, like it's a lot of blind faith. It's a blind delivery system, and kind of just knowing that whatever comes up is what you're meant to hear. Now, what's fun about it though is when something comes up that is completely unrelated to what you asked. You know, and then for me and most readers and seekers, it's that you were asking the wrong question. This is the thing that's in front of your face that you need to focus on instead of that. That's juvenile. That's small potatoes compared to this other thing, you know? So basically the idea that everything kind of means something, and you're going in with a question, and then like whenever I start any kind of private reading, a lot of people just want to have general direction or what's my path? Am I on the right path? But I often want to know, like, is there anything on your mind? Anything specific? And they're like, my career. And I'm like, cool, we'll see if that skin is kind of over this. But
so it's a nice guide. It's a really good guide. Now I have a question, because I think this is kind of important. Reading tarot cards on people with all the readings that you've done, and I'm not talking about the group one that you put out there to everybody, but the individual. Yeah. Has that changed your view of the world or the people that you're reading?
Daily. Consistently.
It affects you.
Daily. All the time. I find that what makes a good reader is reading people. Reading people. Finding out that I don't know everything. That what I think I might know about this card might change in perspective during the reading. I've been in the middle of breaking down, this means this means that means that, and that means this. So now let's talk about it. Let's see what this is for you. Like, does this make sense for you? Do you feel like this is something else? And then during that, other energy will come through that like, this is about them, not the external. This is about an internalized thing, not an external thing, you know? So stuff like that, it changes consistently. I learn about myself in the process. I learn about them. There are times where I'll get off of a reading and I'll be like, I'll break down because I've had to, you know, connect and be empathic to your struggle. And people come to you from everything from who am I going to prom with to so-and-so's dying, you know, people come to you for all kinds of stuff. So yeah, tarot in general has changed my outlook on life in general, and it's all because of the clientele. It's because of the people
which makes sense.
Yeah,
you connect to them. So the next question is, do your readings get affected by your emotions? Like, can your anger or your upset or any of your turmoil end up in your reading?
Not anymore. It used to be completely honest. It used to be very hard for me to maintain non-bias. Like that whole thing of like, don't read your family, don't read your husband, don't read people close to you, because you're going to have a bias about what they should or shouldn't do or whatever. I have, in my human experience, I have learned a lot of, you know, 0 Fs to give about a lot of stuff. I've learned a lot of honesty, and lying takes memory, lying takes panache, and you know, I don't have the capacity for that. So basically what I'm saying is that I turn off. I turn off everything. I focus on you completely. It's kind of like I used to have to follow a ritual to turn myself off. I used to have to meditate and like calm myself, take deep breaths, be like, okay, focus on the cards, hold a crystal in my hand, really, really go there. And like, now it's just like, I'm there. What do you need? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, it's the work that you put into something to make it muscle memory, to make it a lifestyle, you know?
But I like that. You're being very open and honest, because people who are, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. We've met many, many people that will come to us one day and they've never done any type of reading. They're not intuitive. They're not empaths. They're not any of these things. Then we see them a week later and, oh my God, they're a master and we're taking clients. I'm like, what? The honesty of what you're giving. And the fact is that you were like, had a hard time stopping those communications. Are you still there? Because you just froze. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Adam? Okay,
yes.
You can hear us. That's good enough.
Yes.
But the honesty of what you're saying is important for people to hear. And I like that you're putting that out there to people.
Yeah. My pleasure. That's my whole bag, man. I think, and that I don't like to, you know, presume to know that this was how these things were going to work out or anything, but like, I've always just tried to be really honest. I've always just tried to be really honest with my clients that this might not make sense right now. It might later. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't, let's talk about it. I don't want you to be frustrated. I don't want you to be unhappy with the read or any kind of guidance I gave you, but like, this is probably something you needed to hear, and we can unpack that. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's got to be a level of honesty. And if you feel like a reader is pushy, that's sketchy. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are signs. There's definite signs to sussing out.
Yeah, we've had readers that say, I have the message. I don't care if you like the message or not. That's the message I have to give, and you're going to accept it, which I don't agree with. Yeah. And which comes to the next one is, how do you go about giving somebody a very unsettling reading or information that they need?
Well, I look at it like I am reading a sad or shitty book that I didn't write. You know, I'm just reading a book. I'm reading to you what this says. You know, I'm telling you verbatim, this, and now let's talk about that. Let's understand where this comes from. Let's understand your depression. Let's understand the things going on around you and what you can do about them, what you can't do about them. So for me, I guess it's not just tarot, it's also energy work that follows. It's also light working. It's also like, I never leave anybody just devastated. Like, I'm not going to say that, like, you know, everybody gets a great read, because they don't. Like, there have been times where I wish that it wasn't quite so heavy, but like, this is what it is and we need to unpack this. So basically, yeah, I try to be, again, as honest as I can. I try to be your best friend in the moment.
Somebody commented about, I don't think he was implying at all that he makes any kind of judgment during a reading. No. I think what he was saying is that, you know, he tries to remain kind of even keel. Yeah. And the reading happens and he just provides the information that he feels is being given during the reading. And what part of what he does, any reader, if that's, you know, to generalize, they are a therapist in some respect. They are, you know, there's a lot of personal, emotional, sometimes stuff in there that they really do have to know how to deliver, you know.
But I like what he said. He does light work too. Like, I'm not just going to give that unsettling information. We're going to go through it together. We're going to work on it together. I'm not just going to give, hey, next week you're going to be in a car wreck. See ya. Right. That's the end of my reading.
See you later. Hope you got insurance. Like, yeah. Like, I'm going to help you understand that a tower card, for example, is one in tarot that's always construed negatively, and there's a reason for that. I'm not saying it isn't, but there is a reason why that is, and it's important that we unpack that, you know, and figure out that a tower moment, which the tower symbolizes liberation, a shot to your ego. So that's like someone showing you true colors, someone that you thought you could count on falling through, or that causes negativity, you know, or you get into a car accident and it shows that you shouldn't have spent the money on that thing. You should have fixed your car instead, you know. So the idea of negative things may occur around what a specific card implies, but there's a reason for it. And that's what I'm after. I'm after why, and what do you do about it? Not just,
hey, when it rains, what happens? When it rains, there's growth.
Right.
Do you ever get people that are kind of reading themselves or doing this like all the time, and they're reading it wrong, and they think there's a there's a negative message coming through and you're like, no, there's other meanings to.
It's a little bit more often than I would like. I really wish that some people would consider more than one perspective on tarot, on their spirituality, on whatever you believe in. I really wish that people wouldn't take like Bible verses as, well, that means that verbatim. Like, you know, same thing with tarot, you know, the same kind of thing where people will take a bunch of negative cards, or if the whole spread comes out with the cards upside down, because upright and upside down means different things. Okay. So someone might pull an entirely upside down spread and go, oh, well, just everything's going to go wrong. And in my experience and in my opinion, an entirely upside down spread means that your perspective is messed up. Your perspective is skewed. Like, not only do we have to give you direction, we have to turn you around, you know? So there's a lot of negative implied, because it's just, that's the cycle of life, you know. And there's a lot of tarot, a lot of the cycle of tarot is about basically letting old parts of you that don't serve you anymore die and use them as fertilizer for the new you.
Yeah, my mother and father growing up taught us when it came to the Bible, just because you read a certain passage and it resonated a message to you then, later on, it's not going to be the same message. That same passage is going to say something completely different to you, and that's what you have to be open to with anything.
Absolutely. Girl, music, movies, anything, you know? Like, I watched a movie with my husband the other day that I hadn't seen in years, and I was like, this means so much more now. Like, the human experience has allowed you to have new appreciation for these lyrics, for this dialogue, you know? This is no different. It's the same thing.
Yeah. And that's what we all need to be open to that. So
but there is some dark crap in the tarot deck, right?
Oh,
I mean, is there a demon card? I heard there was like a demon card in there too.
Well, there's the devil. So there's the devil as a card, and he's shown in all of his horned, hooved glory. He's in all of that.
But it's what it's with that matters. That's the message.
Yeah, not as cute, but yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. No, but the devil, like, as an example, the devil is this, like, what would you imagine? What would you imagine that the devil might symbolize in tarot?
Again, evil. What else does the devil represent?
Kind of evil subtext. So in tarot, the card symbolizes temptations, addictions, taking the easy way out, you know, giving in to comfort zones, not being willing to do change. The card itself has a couple of people on it that have chains around their neck, but if you look closely, they're not tight, they're loose. They can pick them up and walk away, but the devil doesn't keep you there. It's just real easy to stay. We've all seen Lucifer. That man is fine.
We're all our worst enemy.
It's real easy to stay.
Yeah, we're all our worst enemy. That's exactly.
Yeah, but that makes a lot more sense. Again, to the novice, me, I'm going through that deck and I didn't know anything about it, and I'm flipping that thing over and I'm like, here's a guy with 3 swords. Here's a demon guy. What the hell is this saying about me? Yeah. You know what I mean? Am I going to die and go to hell? I mean, that's how I would like it. But that's my mindset.
What you say,
you know.
I'm gonna tell you about when I was 17. I was traumatized by a psychic tarot card reader. I had some really horrible things happening that I actually, by the time I was 17, I went to my parents and I was suicidal. I said, you have to have me committed. I'm mentally ill. Mm-hmm. And my parents, even though they were Catholic, they sat me down and they said, no, this really is happening. We got to get you help. We went to the church and the church said, well, you're a bad girl. You're obviously doing something to bring this on. Otherwise, this dark stuff wouldn't be happening. So the church was no help at that point.
Yeah, no.
So my father tried another avenue, which I give him all the credit in the world for doing. But when I met this woman and she brought me into her home, she started doing the cards, jumped up, told me, and this is her exact words, get the fuck out of my house. Don't ever come back. What you're dealing with is way past anything that I can deal with.
Okay.
I was like, for years, messed up with that. So this is why it's a sensitivity about how people are treated on the other side, realizing the damage you could do to somebody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like, that sounds like we're like if you are burdened with knowledge and like, oh, like you don't understand. I'm burdened with the knowledge. You must leave. Like, okay, like this is a human thing. Like I'm trying to share it's like being a messenger, but like pulling it back before I hand it to you. You know, like, oh, do you really want it? Do you really want the message? Like, that's not, that's a scare tactic, in my opinion. That happens a lot, unfortunately.
It was horrifying. Horrifying.
The problem is, like anything else in life, there's good and there's people that do it well, and then there's people that don't do it well, and they're kind of learning on the fly, and they're putting their own crap into whatever they're reading there. Yeah. And unfortunately, if you're on the other end of one of those people that aren't that good and you're relying on that reading, you're going to be pretty messed up when you leave there, and you're going to, who knows, you may take that and go to another reader, a more reputable one, or you may just say, holy crap, this is my life, and what the hell did that mean? And that's the thing that bothers me about a lot of readers in general, is that you with that, like the old Spider-Man adage, with great power comes great responsibility.
Absolutely.
If you're going to take that on as something you're going to do and give to people advice, and you better know what you're doing, and you better take responsibility for what's coming in, the message going from here to there, because honestly, you could mess somebody up enough to where they could put a bullet in their head, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
No idea how people might interpret something. It's the same thing as, like, we've been telling people forever that, like, you don't know how far a smile can go.
Exactly.
Might change somebody's whole day. So, like, this is and there's a surge right now of, like, scammers for mediums, tarot readers. Like, I get a zillion a day. Like,
well, we were just talking about that. Not to interrupt you. We were talking before, and I asked Adam, how long have you been doing this on TikTok?
Yeah.
And you said November. Now the guy's got like over 1 million followers, and he's blown up, and people appreciate and gravitate to the real deal.
Right.
And you said, and I don't go on TikTok, I don't really follow anybody, but you said there's 1 million of them.
Yeah.
People doing, and with anything, there's going to be 1 million, of everything. Shirt makers, you name it.
Right.
But the ones who do it well, and the ones that people review well, will be around and will get that following. And
absolutely,
you are one of those people, from what I've heard.
I appreciate it. I really do. I mean, and again, like we said kind of before this too, like this all came from a need for me to just want to do this for me, and then share it and see if it lands. Is there community for this? Is there people that vibe that would do this weekly with me if I went live or something? And is there an audience for my mental stuff that I need, like the mantras and all of that I do on there as well, the self-care stuff, that came from me. I needed someone to yell at me and to give me, like, say this back to me, repeat after me. I needed someone to do it to me, and I did it so often that I was like, this feels good, it works. Maybe people could use this. Maybe this is something, and it's my most.
Well, you have her number. You can call me if you need any of that stuff in the future. I'm pretty good at that.
Good to know. Good to know.
We all have our gifts, Adam. That is mine, and I will bestow that onto you. So
I do need it.
So let's talk about the first time you decided to go away from reading just you and reading somebody else. Was it a friend? Was it family?
It was a stranger.
Okay.
I read a stranger. I was sitting in the food court. I'm an Army brat, so we moved to military bases and all of that. So I was sitting at the food court at the PX, and I was reading my own cards and stuff, and I was basically like, I need to try this. All of mine stuff seems accurate to me. Like, how do I know if I'm right or wrong if I don't compare and whatever, So I found this older gentleman, and I asked him if he would mind. And this is what I tell other people too, if they're unsure of how to do this. I basically said, hey, I'm new at doing this. I'm learning how to read tarot cards, and I'm new, but, like, would you mind? And he was very open and was really cool with it. I think I saw him at church, and that's why I was like, oh, he wouldn't mind. But, like, I told him straight up, like, I might be wrong. This might not make sense. If it does or doesn't, please let me know or whatever. And that's what I tell people as well.
I'm trying to get rid of this guy. Sorry.
You're good. Read strangers, read other people, like, find that, be wrong. You have to have the courage to be wrong, So that's kind of how that started. It was, I'd only been doing it for like a year or so. And then I just was like, screw it. I have to try somebody. And I was
that
really
takes a lot of courage.
It was really hesitant to read friends. And I was more afraid to read people I know.
Yeah.
because I didn't want them to be like, you're doing what? You know what I'm saying? So I figured someone that doesn't know me or could go tell my mom, you know, like that might be better. So, but yeah.
So at what point did you, was it after TikTok that you decided, hey, I want to now make this something I want to do as a career, you know, as a business?
I never had the intention. I never had the intention. It was that, you know, like most of us, COVID hit me hard, and I lost my second job in a couple years. I used to work at Toys R Us as well, and that went down the tube.
That's a cool job.
And then, so yeah, this was my second job in not that long that I'd lost. That was not something I did. I didn't cause this. So there had to be some kind of cosmic stop picking the wrong thing, you know, or something like that. There's more to this. And I went back to tarot for myself and for my own anxiety and my own depression and seeking my own guidance again and getting back into it. And then a friend of mine showed me one of those tarot readers on TikTok that was kind of just basically making up things and was like, you better do this online. You need to share this with people. And I was like, I'll see what happens. And then I just said, hey, I need to make some cash. I need to make money. So if you want to book with me, great. And now it's a full-blown LLC.
Crazy.
Business.
I mean,
but just that moment defined him, that changed everything. And the one thing I do have to say, Adam, is that I do look at and check out a lot of people. I watch people very closely, and I read things.
Yeah.
The thing there tells about people, I can tell pretty quickly who's real and who's not. That's why I do interview the ones that come to our convention, because I can pretty much filter out the good ones from the bad ones. There was such an honesty that you're very entertaining, you're very engaging. You've got that personality that just jumps off the screen.
It's genuine.
But yeah, but
Thank
there's
you.
that honesty that just. And we're back.
There we go.
Woohoo!
The universe
Storm.
does not want
the
her
universe is
complimenting
talking.
you.
Where is he? We don't see
I don't
him
see
now.
your camera there.
I'm
there.
here,
He's
though.
there. He's there.
Oh, you're there. Okay, it's
I'm
just
here.
not showing up here. So, but what I'm saying is the honesty and what comes off of you, and that's why I wanted to get you on here. You know, there's a reason why you have these people following you, and you've got, because there is that comes off of you, and genuine. You can't fake the genuine that comes off of you. That there's a lot that can do it for a short period of time, but they fall off to the wayside.
Right.
And I have a funny feeling that you're going to be somebody that we're going to be seeing
So people
out
are asking
there.
for a demo.
A demo?
You ready for a demo?
Yeah, I can do that.
Let's do it.
Real quick before he does a demo, I want to ask you, when you do this, do you ever have to reset your energy after you do a reading?
Oh, basically, yeah. It's not as tedious as it used to be. It's not as routine. It's more of like, where's the button? You know, it's more of that nowadays. But there is kind of a reset that needs to happen. But it's kind of just, I don't know. It's mostly, I channeled it into shuffling. When I shuffle, that's the reset. I basically focus on that. Allow my energy to kind of fit between the cards, and then that's the reset. Then I'm back to this. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So it took me a long time to figure that out, though, for it to get there. So, but yeah, we can do a cute demo. I'd love to. This is kind of how lives go with me. So yeah, I do collective tarot lives most Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays on my TikTok and Instagram. If anybody wants to follow my stuff and check that out. But yeah.
So this is going to be a general read, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be
So
for you in
for the
particular.
collective.
Okay.
So basically, if it speaks to you, great. If not, whatever. I'm just, you know, if something, basically the idea of this, what I channel or what I focus on for this is wellness and health. I try to put my fingers on the pulse of the universe, and quite frankly, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of angst. There's a lot of hurts. There's a lot of that. So I try to focus on that feeling and see what it needs for alleviation, you know?
Gotcha.
So, and then also during the lives, I'll break it down by horoscope or by your sign to give it kind of further direction and stuff like that. So you feel that it's not so so random that it is a bit more meant for you, you know, and that kind of thing. So yeah, let's pull 3 cards and see what we get today.
So real quick, you guys can follow Madam Adam on Instagram or TikTok if you want to go and follow him right after we finish here. You know, you could contact him directly, or you could just see his daily, you know, readings that he does.
And for some of us old school people, he does have a Madam Adam fan page on Facebook.
Yeah, I have a little bit of everything. I got Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. So yeah, it's Madam Adam, 2 separate words, not the band. So cool. So we have 3 cards, and there's a couple that are inverted and all of that. So, but yeah, so the first one is the Knight of Swords. Looks like that. He's a dude with a wand on a horse. The Knight of Swords is about a lot of passion, as wands are. So this basically suggests that we're moving forward on a passionate journey of some kind, something that means a lot to us, something that, you know, fills that void of that, you know, really strikes the match within you, something that really drives your purpose. The blue background here is about communication, self-expression, leadership, owning how you feel about things, getting it off the ground. Knights are also about time frames. So we're talking about this moving forward in a quick fashion for you. So this seems like we're trusting our gut in a way that allows us to move forward passionately. We must have had some new inspiration. I say that because we have this 10 of Swords here as well, which is a gross card. Really gross, really negative. Obviously, we're face down, a bunch of swords in our back. Swords are often your mental state. They're the logic. They're an air sign in tarot. These swords often don't belong to you. These are other people's perspectives and ideas of you that you still believe. Color palettes, this is what you believe to be truth that blocks out your idea of success. It's this tangible thing now. Down here, it's blocking your communication. This was inverted though. So this passionate journey in conjunction with this card suggests that this passionate journey of you moving forward is helping to alleviate this mental strain. It's helping us get past these things. This inversion would say that your communication is on top now. The success has changed. Your idea of success has changed. And this truth, you understand, never belonged to you anyway. So often when people are talking to us or about us, they're projecting. They are just speaking their truth that they believe. And we go, oh my God, yeah, I am garbage. You're right. I don't deserve, you know? And this clearly, this passionate journey is alleviating that. We're trusting our gut. We're going forward. But here's the rub. The Chariot is inverted. So the Chariot is one of the many symbols of victory in tarot. The Chariot is the end of the first row of 7 in what we call the Fool's Journey. The Fool's Journey is the major arcana cards like this that aren't like a 10 of Swords or Wands or Cups. It's just a major triumph card. They symbolize a life journey. And this one is the end of the first row of 7 if you break down the 21 cards into 3 rows. And a lot of people are really cool with this societal idea of victory. I pay bills, I eat, I go to bed, I get up, I go to my job, I'm cool. What's on tonight TV? I'm cool. Most people are really cool with doing laps, donuts in the Chariot, and being really, really cool with that idea of success. Some people, especially now in this spiritual renaissance we talked about a lot earlier, they're seeking that second level of the Fool's Journey, that second row, a higher understanding of what success means for them. So although anybody in the collective that this speaks to, you're moving forward of your passionate journey. It is helping you understand your new truths, alleviating old traumas, old garbage that used to plague your brain. You're doing good work in that endeavor, but this is inverted. So it's not going to be the victory you expect. Maybe we expect to kind of come across the finish line and I did it. Yeah, that's great. But maybe this victory is going to be a door open to more work you're going to need to do to get further. We have to switch things up. We have to go a little different if we want new results. So to me, an inverted Chariot is still victory. It's just not the victory you expect. It's in a different way. You're grateful for being on the journey. You're on the road to Disney. You're on your way there. You just got a flat tire on your way, you know? So there's still the idea of you being on the journey, you going there, having success. It's just not in a way that you expect it to be. And that makes sense though, because we're changing our mentality. We're changing our mental state. So this is going to probably show that like the passionate journey is valid. It makes sense. It works for you. It's getting over all of these things, but it's not quite a tangible success. It's more of an emotional, spiritual thing that's going to help us progress into that newness, you know? So that's kind of how that works.
It's the step in the right direction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's basically saying, yeah, green light. The journey that you're going on is is as long as it's passionate. He's wearing the colors of yellow and black here, the knight. So he's shrouded in success and truth, right? So not just something that works for you, something that you're honest about, something that is true to your emotional well. It doesn't just make the money, it feels good. It makes sense. It's like this hobby that we all do for like the benefit. Like it's my tarot, it's your stuff. You know what I'm saying? All of these things that like have a higher level of success to us because they're deep-seated in passion, you know? So that's kind of how this works.
Brianna just made a perfect point. It's funny that the cards read that and showed up that way because this is what we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Facts.
There was a lot of, again, I was applying a lot of that to me, you know, as I'm listening to it. I'm just like, yeah, the flat tire on the road to Disney. That's going to be my autobiography, I think, the title, to be honest with you. You probably just gave it to me.
You can have that. That is fine. See, and that, my friend, is what we call resonation station.
Right.
That's what we call that. So, yes.
It definitely did. It made a lot of sense to me. I mean,
good.
You know?
Perspective. It's just perspective. That's all it is. And people always ask me, where does this come from? Where does this message come from? How do you do this? And it's my human experience. I'm just have a pulse on this energy, you know.
And just so you guys out there, you know, you don't pay Adam for that reading. You send the money to us this time. So just, I'll give you the P.O. box on the.
Yes.
I'm kidding. Yes. No, but you do offer individual readings, right? If people were to reach out to you.
Yeah, I have a link tree with I have a booking site that I use to book private readings with me, which are all virtual at this time. Thank you, pandemic, I guess. I have clients out in Australia.
There you go.
Cool, you know. But yeah, the only way to catch me is in person is at events and things that I'm at right now. I don't have a space at the moment, but yeah, I go live and do collectives like this. And then if you want something more in depth, more personalized, I do offer private readings that are bookable 2 weeks from the day, basically.
And he has product, people. He has his
merch
with my logo and things.
Yes.
You know. Yeah.
A lot of people love that picture we put up with a shirt that says "Unclench your jaw."
Yes.
A lot of people reacted
He's not going to be
that.
at the expo, right? No.
Oh, I asked him if he would be at the expo. We're inviting you to the expo.
Honestly,
you're definitely welcome. We would love to have you there.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
If you can show up, we will give you a table.
Definitely.
I would love that. Honestly.
You're welcome.
I've got family and stuff up there, so it'd be a great opportunity. Good excuse.
But again, how crazy is life? This is what. For all the bad things that happen in life that we question and go, why, what, how, why me? Look at your story, for instance, with you know how the name came to be, and then this is going to be like an Oprah Winfrey moment where I'm going to tie this all together, people. So get close to the TV or whatever you're watching. Where the name came from was out of, again, pain. It was a painful memory from his childhood. And here he's working, you know, Toys R Us, whatever the first job was, you know, knows that there was a calling or something beyond what he was doing. But how many people get the opportunity to where, again, the dominoes fell, the pandemic came, you started on TikTok, and it was just, again, there are people, I'm not one of them, but there are people out there whose story seems to be kind of written already, or at least mostly written, and where good things happen after bad things happen, but you're kind of like that perfect story of like, if that didn't happen, that wouldn't have happened. If this didn't happen, you mentioned the Australian clients, pandemic and all. What if none of that? Where would Madam Adam be?
Non-existent, a gamer tag.
Listen,
I mean, isn't it crazy how the world and the universe just kind of...
Adam comes from even a further struggle from addiction. He's is a recovered addict, which really? I find
even that into the whole story.
Admirable.
Yeah,
very.
You know?
Everything that I try to put out is out of a personal need. You know, it comes out of a personal need. That's how I know it's honest. That's how I know it works. But I don't push anything on anybody. It's like that's what self-awareness is, my friends. If knowing that you're the main character, you're in charge, you're the star of the show, you're the main character, you're the protagonist in your book, but you're also one of a zillion books in this cosmic Barnes and Noble.
Got that right.
So that's self-awareness. And if anybody wants to come by and pick up my book, I just want it to be as honest as possible. And if my experience is inspiring to you, it's honest. This is what it's been. And it's time. Like you said, it's time, not a funny thing. That like I've been able to kind of look back out of all of this as like a giant cosmic gift, that this was necessary.
You're a perfect example of, if you don't give up and you take your energy and you point it in another direction, you could change the dynamics of everything.
Literally. Perspective is literally
the phoenix
everything.
Rising out of the debris.
Yeah. Perspective is literally everything. Absolutely.
Again, it amazes me how the universe and life works sometimes with people and the things that happen with them. And I would trust, again, me as a person, I would trust the reading more from someone who did have trials and tribulations in their life and have been through real things than just, somebody who picked this, tarot reading up from a friend of theirs and, lead into, a charmed life. You know what I mean?
There's no
really
ego
didn't have
here.
any.
There's no ego.
No,
I
no,
love that. You have no idea how many egos we meet.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's exhausting.
I'm sure.
I love that there is none here, and that is phenomenal on your side.
You're gonna give me one, so.
No. We'll slap it out of you. I keep him grounded too, so
Well, again, he wants me to call him and give him those.
Yes.
Keep him grounded. I'm going to do that for him.
You do that.
Epic.
I'll be your coach and you can be his.
But yeah, it would be great. You are definitely welcome to come to the expo. We would love to have you. And I think, you've got your own followers, of course, but I think the people that are watching you right now would line up to get a reading from you in a minute after watching this. So
you won't have a moment to yourself.
No, you won't.
I'm starting to understand that a lot of my life is not going to be the same anymore. So I'm starting to accept it and hope that my husband's along for the ride. Babe, I love you.
No, I think big things for you, man. I really do. I could see you definitely getting your own show and going up. I mean, and you'll forget all about us and you'll be like, who are those people? I met them.
I met them for a minute. When? Who are they?
What?
Show me that video. Erase it. Get it off of YouTube. But I do. I predict big things for you. And I'm glad that we had this talk because, again, I'm very narrow-minded when it comes to my beliefs in some things. And tarot is kind of one of those where I'm just like, but you really did give me a different
Adam, you helped me do half my job. Thank you.
No, I would love to, again, I'd love to get a reading and see, because I'm listening to him then and I'm like, wow,
Exactly. I told you.
That could be, yeah.
Now, John, did I not?
And now I have the title of my book, Flat Tire on the Way to Disney World.
Literally.
Yeah, that's.
You can have that. That's mine.
You heard him. So
again, for just being so open-minded and willing to ask questions, like that's what I always. A lot of people are they don't know what to ask. Yeah. So my favorite kind of audience are the people that are willing to have a conversation with me, that are willing to go, now could that be this? Does that sound like this, or is that this? Like, I don't like to just do fortunes at you. I'm not Zoltar, okay? Like, what I'm saying? I want it to be a conversation. So, thank you guys for this.
Well, thank you for answering and being so honest and so open.
Life is about learning, no matter what age you are. Your journey is always going to be about learning. You no matter, again, you can be 80.
And we're not done.
Not even close. Not even close.
At all.
Yes, Doris, he is on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. And am I missing another one?
Twitter.
Twitter. Twitter.
Madam Adam. 2 words. Madam Adam.
Madam Adam.
It's right there.
It's official Madam Adam on TikTok and Instagram.
Social sensation.
Okay, then.
Social media sensation. Let me put it that way.
No, you were right the first time. Social sensation.
Period.
Adam, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time. It was great meeting you. I can't wait to see you in September.
Well. A pleasure.
All right, take care of yourself.
We're back at you. Take care.
All right, guys, have a good night. We're going to log off and go watch TV. Yeah. All right, have a good night. And get out of this thunderstorm. Take care, everyone.